This was recorded in 2011, September. Dad was in the rehab facility at Lakeview Hospital, right there on Main Street. We're sitting out on the balcony on the second floor, so there's a lot of noise and distractions going on. And we had some interruptions from the staff, nurses. So, interesting parts are later at the end when Dad is talking about his dad and the war and the experience he had where he warned some fellow neighbors that their children were likely going to be inducted into the German army. These boys were older, but Dad's friends, he said. Earlier part is some more just general information about the war. I brought up the subject because I had been to an air show or a display with a B-29 bomber, a B-17 bomber out Salt Lake Airport that day, which I found interesting, so I used that to introduce the conversation to the war. It's pretty interesting. I hope the noise isn't too terrible.
Being was in the house in the backyard where I was living.
Doing what? Breathing hard?
Yeah.
He's talking. It's hard to talk. When you're talking, you have to take a few breaths.
He's okay though. His oxygen level is about
Okay, well, I know. I want to hear the story.
And the fuselage was by the swimming pool. And that comes a German horse and carriage with flatbed, and they got so many caskets, wooden boxes, and they pick those guys out piece by piece. Not the black guy, put them in that box. White guy, that box. So they take them out of pieces. Yeah, that's interesting.
So I guess they were giving people rides too. Yes, Saturday you could actually pay them $20-$30 and they take you up in that plane.
Well, the other day they were saying on the news one of those planes got restored and it went to smithereens in midair.
Well, that's a different one. That's a fighter plane.
Oh, that was that Mustang that blew apart.
That was a B-17.
Okay.
Those were big, those B-17s.
For those days, yeah.
Yeah, you could put one of those B-17s inside of a 747, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, one day I was waiting to go to Utrecht for the train, and there comes a German motorcycle guy. The rifle on his back on a motorcycle, and the next thing I knew, there comes a Spitfire. I got behind him, shot the guy to pieces.
Right in front of you.
Yeah. He got as far across the street to hit the building. He didn't fell off, but he was dead.
The Spitfire, that's not the Mustang, that's a different plane.
Well, I don't know what. I'm sure it was.
I think there was a Spitfire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
You heard from the X-ray people yet?
No.
Did they give you a fucking shot?
No.
I'll have to go talk to them.
So while I was there, people would come up and talk to the guy that was part of the crew of the aircraft, and he was a big guy, probably 250 pounds. One of the crew used to work on them, and he was clearly way too young to be World War II. But people would come up and say, "Well, my dad flew these during the war, and we don't know where he did his tour of duty at." And the guy said, "Man, unless he was shot down, there was no record of the pilots really where their missions were. And other than that, unless there was
all very secret.
Well, it wasn't just secret. They just didn't keep records."
Those damn guys, they come in from Holland and talking about radar. In Germany, you can listen to the radio and they will give you a warning in the German language. American planes coming this way, going toward Berlin. But those damn guys, one of them said they made a turn. Then they go to a different city. So then the radio guys come back on and they tell you about that.
That was on a German radio frequency?
Yeah, it was a German radio. They had 8 of those guys. They know exactly where those planes are. As soon as they get off the ground and in England, they tell you right on the radio, active, this far melding and enemy planes coming out of the ground from England.
And that was probably spies because radar wouldn't reach that long.
Or
Or
whatever it was. They knew every move you made.
yeah, there were plenty of spies in England. There was no doubt. I don't think the Germans had radar until very late in the war, and the U.S. and British invented it and had it for quite a while before the Germans did.
They had something
They didn't have
because,
radar during the war.
because it
It
was
was not as sophisticated as it is now, but they did have it.
because the American planes were being shut down. And then later on in the war, when you stood outside, you hear a lot of noise. Everything vibrates. Those American planes, they dropped aluminum foil out of their planes by the
Strips,
bundles.
about
Yeah,
this
that was
long.
radar, right? Radar chaff.
Yeah,
Huh.
that was,
And that was to disturb the radar.
yeah.
We as kids, we thought it was fun to go pick it up and play with it.
Oh, and they took cigarettes out of the plane. Lots of cigarettes, chewing gum, and things like that.
Or how high were they when they were doing that?
Oh, they would dive down and drop it and go back
They
up.
don't dive down, they drop them out.
They must have come down some. In other words, they're flying at
Oh, yeah.
10,000.
Well, they didn't come very low, but they would come down as far as they could and they go back up again.
Just to drop candy out on the fields. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Cigarettes and gum.
Yeah. Well, what an interesting time. As bad as it was.
Mm.
Oh.
So what did you do in therapy today?
Walk and exercise in England, and they stay real low over the treetops. And we were not too far away from an airport, and they go out there and see those German planes. And the Germans are kind of tired of that, I guess. So next to the airport, they made another airport with wooden airplanes going on tracks.
Yeah.
And those guys got the hang of that, and they come back with wooden bombs. Drop the wooden bombs on them.
Where was that?
In his eyes, in Sister Building.
Oh.
You know,
Those guys climbing out of them, they're having fun while they're doing it.
Yeah, they used to make big inflatable planes. They just roll out as decoys.
Oh, yeah. So with tanks,
Oh yeah, it was inflatable tanks. So
inflatable?
oh yeah, balloon type. From the air, it looked like a tank.
I don't remember ever seeing nothing like that. The first thing we really ever saw was when the Allied forces came into town. We missed them from the whole final town. And they had to come on and platoon them built because the 2/3 of the island was inundated with water.
Matter of fact, I got arrested for doing the bunker.
blowing up a what?
Blowing up a German bunker.
A bunker.
Yeah.
You blew up a bunker, or you just got arrested for it?
I got arrested for it. I don't think I did it, but
You don't know if you did it?
I was in it.
Oh.
Blew all the doggone buildings out of the next town. Because it was full of ammo and whatever they had in there.
So you got arrested. What'd they do to you for allegedly blowing up a bunker? And that'd be the Germans arresting you, right?
No, that was after the war.
Oh, after the war. So you were playing around in this bunker and set off all the.
Fireworks they had in there.
I don't know who did it, but I don't think it was me.
But you were close enough
You
to.
were with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that B-17 took off this morning and is going up to Vernal for a couple days. They have a few of these planes that they just fly around and show to people. And I don't think the bomb bays held very many bombs. They're big bombs that were in it,
Well,
maybe 10
depends on how
tops.
many. They were holding 80 or more of them. If you got a 250-pound bomb, which is only that big, They have a whole rack of them in the inside.
Yeah, well, they had 5 or 6 bigger bombs than this one, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't have held 10 of those total, it looked like. But smaller bombs, yeah, it could have probably held 100. Must have been quite a sight to see them drop out of the sky. If 100
Oh,
planes
yeah.
are dropping 100.
It's like confetti when it first starts coming down, and it isn't until they get to a certain height that they start going wee, and, you know.
Or at least that's when you can start to hear it.
Uh-huh.
What, when they, those wings?
No,
No,
the bombs, when you can start to hear them.
You can hear them all right. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, well, when they're very high up, you don't hear them. It's not until a certain height, and I don't know.
Well, it's just it's too far away. As soon as it gets close enough, you can start to hear it.
I even see one, the back end of the plane got shot down with a gun or something in the back,
Yeah,
and he survived. You know, that tail section,
just flutter down.
put it down until the landed in a tree before he hit the ground.
A lot of those guys back there, they just get killed when those planes landed. If they didn't have landing gear in the back come down just right, they just wipe them right out. I think they had a button that they could eject that thing, and the guy just fall out.
Not that I don't know.
The whole turret would just be disengaged and fall, but he had a better chance of surviving that than being ground to bits on the back. Because I don't think they let him get into those turrets in flight. Not that back one. There's no way.
We had one of those 250-pound bombs. It was about this long, about that wide. It was blue. I'll never forget it. It didn't explode. If it had exploded, you know, it would have been a different story. We wouldn't have been there anymore.
Yeah.
I guess the Germans detonated it. I don't know what they did with it. They took it out of there. Yeah, it was only 100 feet away from our house.
Mm-hmm.
And then my stupid cousin, and we didn't know better. We were several years younger than he was. We went walking. You know, we lived in the center of town. There's the church, and there's a circle.
What was the name of the town?
Homestead.
Homestead.
Mm-hmm. And then right next to us was a big lane that led to a castle, and that's where the Germans were. And they had filled it with landmines on both sides of the lane. And this was still kind of early in the war, probably 42 or 43. And all of us went for a walk, and we could still go through that lane and get to the dunes faster, okay? But then later on, they wouldn't let us do it anymore. And my cousin, who was about 13 or 14, he would take a long stick and go behind the barbed wire to see if he could explode one of those landmines. And we were standing right there next to him. You know, we didn't know as kids what it would do. He should have known. And he didn't warn us or anything. Stupid boy. We never told my mother either. I did later after I was grown up, but not at the time. And that stick was probably as long as from here to there, you know, and he was just plodding around everywhere the whole way when we were walking. And luckily he never found one, but, you know, we had it would have been all for smithereens.
But you ended up as far as Austria, right? You ended up as far as Austria?
Yeah.
I never could figure out how you found your way back after the war.
Well,
We
no,
never know himself,
we don't know how that happened. Actually, react, you know, that's how those do.
You said you were on a train at one point.
Oh, yeah, for 4 days.
That must have been him.
And we went from Utrecht.
Since you had a treatment and
See, and if it hadn't been for those treatments every 4 hours, your lungs wouldn't be where they are now. And I cannot do that every 4 hours.
I wasn't home on a train. And somebody pulled the emergency brake, probably the train engineer, because they're going to attack that train. So anyway, we looked outside, and there it comes, one of those fighter planes. Next to me said a German soldier, and he looked at that, stepped next to the train, He just took his time.
Cocked his gun and pointed in the sky.
Not a rifle, really. He took his time. And when he was close enough, he shot him, and but that didn't never be killed him.
It's one shot.
One shot, and that's hit him in the right place. So. Then he sat back in the seat, took his bayonet and making a little mark on his life.
They had wooden things on them.
They were good soldiers, though. Yeah.
Was that on the train ride back from Austria or another day?
No, I don't know how we got back from there. No, I got back on the train and from there. But my parents told me we're going to go to Germany in a couple of days. And I told them, I've been in Germany so many times, I don't want to go there anymore. And he said, well, the deal is, if you stay here, they kill us all because of political. And
So they, he meant the Allies or who?
huh?
Who was they? Who were going to kill? The Allies were coming, and that's when you were.
Our own people probably.
Oh,
The Germans, I didn't really liked it.
yeah.
And then later on, I went outside talking to a friend, and I told him about that. And they talked to his dad, and he talked to me, and he said, how will you fish? I told him I don't want to go there. I've been already 3-4 times out there. I asked him, I said, you want to stay here? You take care of it. I said, but Dad told me they're going to kill us. He said, you saved all my sons. I will make sure they don't touch it. And so I moved in with them for about 3 or 4 days, maybe a week, I don't know. And when they were ready to go, my dad came up to his place and said, let's go. So he still took me out there.
And where did you end up in that trip?
A place like Whitney.
That was 44 before your dad died in 45, didn't he?
Yeah, he died at 40.
It wasn't 44, was it?
So it wasn't long after. Huh?
Yeah. So, yeah.
So that he came and got, just took you and Wim and your mom, and you went to Germany.
Yeah. That's the whole house, beautiful house. See the house where we're going to live. Nice place. Everything by it, just walk out of the door. Never to come back there. Yeah.
So they were already looking for your dad. The Allies or the Dutch people were looking for him.
Probably the Dutch people. Apparently, he was a picture or something because when he's home, I can hear all the conversation on the telephone, and I heard him talking about my friend's brothers and some other people were underground. And I didn't like when I realized what was going on. Well, I'm going to go next door for a couple of minutes. So I told my friend that. He asked him outside. What are you trying to say? I said, they're going to raid this place here. So get your guys out of the way because they're after them. And he said, how can I trust you? I said, well, if you don't trust me, you're going to lose all your kids. That's all there's to it.
How old were you? 12?
13 maybe.
13, probably. He was 15 when they were it, so he was 14 probably.
So after hearing what your dad was saying on the phone, you told your neighbors time to get out because they were coming after him and his family?
They probably were Jewish or something. Were they Jewish?
Huh?
Were they Jewish?
No.
So why were they coming after them?
Those big boys.
Oh, they were taken into
were
Germany for the
underground.
war, yeah.
I'll pick them up. I'll take them to Germany.
Yeah, the Germans are after Dutch kids
Dutch
and
boys to help them in the war,
Right.
soldiers.
yeah, they were inducting them into the military.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the way that went.
So where did those boys go then?
Oh, they disappeared. They have places to hide.
And then the Germans came and looked for them still?
No, it was my dad's bunch was in there. I have a hunch he was in the base commander. All I have is a little passport picture with a star on his forehead. A red thing here with a star on it. So he must have been high up.
A base in Hull.
Huh?
A base in Hull.
Yeah.
So,
What kind of bases did they have there in Hull? Aircraft bases or
Yeah.
For train-
Simple.
Schiphol was a military base?
Mhm.
That's in
And
Amsterdam.
then-
That's in Amsterdam.
yeah.
And Soesterberg, that
I thought you were in Utrecht this time. Were you in
Well,
Amsterdam?
Soesterberg is close to Utrecht. You know, it isn't that far out. Holland isn't that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, guess who died this morning? One man was like,